Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockMiner Brian Johnson, and we had a down day today. Wow. I mean, a pretty serious down day today. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Sorry. 160 in the Dow, 20 in the S&P, 50 in the Nasdaq. It's about 1.5 for the Dow and the S&P, and 2% for the Nasdaq. That's quite a move on a Friday afternoon to end the month. We just dribble down all day long. Now the volume wasn't exactly off the hook. It wasn't thick. But once again, not a bad move for the Bears. There's some things I was watching during the day that I'm not sure I'm necessarily convinced in the longer run, but we sure are seeing some very good motion lately, at least on the 60-minute charts, that would lead me to believe that there could be a bigger bear move next week. What are we still watching? Same stuff we have been, guys. 10,950. Couldn't do it. Couldn't even close below 11,000 for the day. Regardless, though, a bigger move down. You can see us here once again. Okay, so we're fighting with this 20-day moving average. At this point, I'm going to kind of, I don't know. We'll see what happens next week, but I'm at a point now where I might start to kind of ignore this 20-day. I'm not so sure that it's just not going to be something that's in the way coming into early next week. Won't know till we see what happens on really kind of Monday, Tuesday. But here you can kind of see we're moved up, moved back down, moved up. Now we move back down again. And all these moves down have been met by buying, yeah. And Mondays have been typically good for the markets, except this week we were down some points this week on a Monday. But if things stay true to the way they have been, Monday might be another good day, and we'll be back up again. And here we go into a consolidation mode. So that's what we'll be watching coming into early next week. I'll talk more about that on Sunday. On a Nasdaq 60-minute, you can see doing the same stuff as we saw before. Now this was gap up yesterday, only to be closed today, so we're back below this 2040 mark, but still above the 2000 area. That's kind of my next level to break in the Nasdaq. Still is coming into early next week. I will be watching that very closely. Look at how it's finding very solid support down here at 2000. And any break below this, probably 1975. Or maybe even lower for this particular move. NDX on a weekly, you can see we did not hold the 2050 area up here, right back to 2000. So we did get a break above this overhead resistance last week, but no confirmation on the hold this week. Man, after yesterday's candles, I just really thought the markets would put in one of those little topping candles that we're so used to seeing time and time again. Drag it down early in the week, bring it back up later in the week, completely change the outlook of things. This was kind of the opposite. Drag it down, bring it back up, make it, and then no, just fall apart on the last day. So it is what it is. Now that we've closed the week, we can look at this candle and see that we have put in another, what? Yes, potential reversal candle. That'll be something to talk about this weekend. SPX on a 60-minute, doing the same thing, this big wave format. Now, this has been very choppy action. Typically going to get your hand slapped, typically going to get yourself into trouble. However, when this action moves a lot, like big points, okay, 1220 to 1180, yeah, that's tradable. 40 points, absolutely tradable. 1180 back to 1210, 30 points, absolutely tradable. So we do get some opportunities to trade. Here again is the problem. When we get big gaps in the morning of like 10 points, it makes it tough, makes it difficult. And overall, if you look at if you look at what we've seen since about the beginning of April 12th here, straight across, we're going nowhere. Just absolutely flat trading. So indices, individual stocks have still been kind of the better way to trade, especially if you're a buy and hold type of a person. If you got in early on in April, you're really nowhere. You haven't made any money, you haven't necessarily lost any money, but you're not going anywhere. Your money's tied up just like it has been, over the last few years. If you've been trading, and holding for the last few years, a lot of people are still just break even or still down from where they were 10 years ago. And this is what the market's doing now. Lots of consolidation. This is just sideways chop, 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 waiting for whatever the bigger move is going to be next. Here it is on a daily. SPX coming right back down into this 1185. Where was my mark? 1180. Still my mark. This is still the number I'm looking for. Somewhere back below here. Lots of good support down here. So any break of that should lead us lower. I'm still looking at 1160. Maybe even lower than that. Talk more about it this weekend. SPX on a weekly, right back to what? The blue. Big blue. I'm going to call it big blue. Usually it's big red rolling through the charts here. I'm going to call this big blue. So we have, I could call this Papa Smurf, come rolling through the charts here, looking for and holding as support for the time being. Any break below this, I really think this 1150 once again will be the area to watch. Then maybe we get a stall, move back up, and what does it like to do? Yeah, retest the bottom side of this. So that's what I'm looking at going forward. Be talking more about that as well this weekend. VIX on a daily. Here's that big spike up. The volatility has been crazy this week. Look at the other moves that we've seen week after week after week after week. Yeah, big move up, big moves down, and kind of chop. Look at this one again. Huge move up, big moves down, big move up. Almost right back to where we were before. So now looking at this on a weekly, yeah, now it looks like maybe we're starting to get some fear coming into the markets. Is it grease? Is it, who knows what it is? They'll always find some sort of excuse and some sort of news to roll on. The bigger plan is to just watch this VIX indicator, maybe up and over these areas here. As this continues to climb, markets are going to continue to drop. So we might see, if bearishness continues in the markets next week, this thing come up and hit maybe even close to 30 over the next week or two. Apple on a 60-minute down $7.55. This thing is just in a big, consolidation. It's not going anywhere. It's made for wonderful day trading, though. If you guys are looking at day trading this thing, and look what it's fighting with, the blue line. I've been talking about that. I don't expect it to get much past this blue line or for any great length of time whatsoever. We might revisit it a couple more times. We might even break above it, but it's not going to stay above it very long. Apple's big romp up in the short term, I think, is coming to a close, at least for a little while. I'm not saying that it's going down to $110 or anything, which would be wonderful for all of us, but I think it's going to have a pullback here pretty soon. That could be another, I don't know yet. This formation hasn't played out, so could be another month before that happens. We'll wait and see. Waiting for larger breaks. Anything especially below 255 or 250 is to what to be watching. Bigger picture here, though. Look at the weekly, guys. A move down overall of about $10, following a move up of 25, I think, last week. So it's in the bigger picture. I mean, it's not really. There's nothing here that's really deadly for Apple at this point. So we'll see if we get another little pullback candle next week, maybe a consolidation candle. If it moves sideways, it's just another high base. Then we're looking for higher prices to come. So we'll wait and see what the weekly gives us next week, sorry. ABV on a 60-minute. This one was more choppy action, just absolutely untradeable this week. The only trade was to take a short up here at the 100 mark. The 100 area held beautifully, and it made for some very nice profits over the next couple of days. Even if you held all week long, you still came out $2-3 ahead. So that was the only trade, though, on that one. APEI was crazy. It was all over the map. Breaking down below this, breaking back up above it, now breaking back down below it. Lots of chop action. Great for intraday plays. If you got short and held all week, from a swing trader's perspective, you did excellent. You made $3. If you were intraday trading it, certainly opportunities to day trade this one for sure this week. Should have been some profits made as well on that. FAS on a 60-minute was down $8 today. So a big fall today, holding on to that what? Yeah, 100 level. Below 105, kind of my line in the sand, maybe 104. If you went short below 105 today or 104, you made money. That was a good $2-3 move. In FAS, still nothing broken from the bigger picture here, though. Looking for a break and a close down below 100, and that's my kind of bigger go short type of a time frame. You know what, though? I'll talk more about it this weekend. FAS still not looking overly bearish. This thing still has a great potential to head higher based on the price action from this week. FAZ means it was up but not above the 60-period moving average, still in this same consolidation thing that we're seeing on the FAS as well. I'm really waiting for breaks up and over 13 to get more serious to the long side on FAZ. If you've been trading this week, I hope FAS and FAZ have been more day trades for you. As you can see, this choppy action can absolutely hack your account to pieces. So these are really meant for day trading, especially right now. There are times to swing trade this, but it's not right now. We'll talk this weekend about whether or not any of those opportunities are going to open up for us next week. That'll do it for this week. For this week's videos, I'll be back with you on Sunday. We'll be watching some of these lower levels. I still love this 10,950 area. Let's watch that closely coming into early next week to see if it'll hold. Subscribers video is next, and we will discuss a little bit more of the formations and what I'm seeing and where I'm looking for breaks for entries. Talk to you guys again on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Bye.